Hello everyone and welcome back to Crochet Rocks. My name's Tracy and this is part 5 of my Willow Square Blanket crochet-a-long. And so this is the blanket that I've been making for the CAL, and it's a cot size blanket, so it is fairly large. So what I've done to show you the border is I made a swatch and edged that, and it was so much easier because that way I could try the edging out and frog that rather than frog the, it all just needs sort of pulling into shape a little bit, that's all. I could try my border out and frog what I needed to without doing it on a really large blanket. Plus when I'm doing the tutorial, to pause the video while I get round would take forever, so it's so much easier to do it on this smaller little swatch. So I've made another one to show you how to do this border. And I have a little confession that I forgot to bring any of this Poundland yarn because I figured I was making this blanket, so that's the yarn I brought with me. And so it doesn't really match my swatch, but I'm going to use this colour when I do the border just so that you will see. But if it should normally match, so it would have been this colour, but to be honest it's quite a good colour match, so it won't look odd. But I should have brought some Poundland yarn with me and I forgot. So I've got my 4.5mm hook. Let's move the blanket out of the way. And I've got a pair of scissors, and you'll need a darning needle obviously. I've got my blue yarn, which should have been the Poundland, and my white, which I've been using for the blanket. So let's pull out some yarn, and I will start this in one of the corners, and I want a corner that doesn't have an end already. Let me just put some light on. Be a bit better. That's better. Because I only want to work over one tail, and it's going to be this one. It doesn't matter too much because I will have to undo this anyway, and I'll reuse these squares on my large blanket that I've been making. But what I actually want to do is find the middle one of my 3 corner stitches and insert my hook, leaving a fairly long tail. I pull through a loop, and a way to secure them is to grab both ends, the end you're working on and the tail end, and do 1 chain with both ends, and then drop this yarn end and work over it. And so now I'm going to do 3 double crochet in UK terms, that's single crochet in US terms, and I'm going to do 3 in this corner. Now sometimes when you go over the stitch like that, it makes this bulge out a little bit. If you just pull it, then that will disappear. So now I'm going to go into every stitch along, doing a double crochet in UK terms. So that's the US single. And I'm going to do that until I reach the join. And I'll show you how I get over the fact that there's this small dip. It's not a massive dip, and it will actually work itself out over the different rows, but I do like to even it out as much as I possibly can. So I'm just going to do 1 stitch in each of these until I get to that join, and I will show you what I do at the join. I can't believe I forgot the actual Poundland yarn, really. It's because I'm not doing this at home and I forgot to bring it. Never mind. At least I can show you with a different colour. So that I've gone over enough of that tail. I normally like to just, won't be so much on this one because I'm going to undo it, but normally speaking I would work over some of the tail, and then with this bit I would work it back through, because so many times I've made things and sewn in my ends, and then only to find that after a little while they work their way out. So I like to really show them who's boss now and go over them a few times. So now that was my last stitch, and I've reached this join here. So as you can see, there is this little dip down. So to get over that, I do a half treble or a half double in US terms, sorry. UK terms, it's a half treble. So that's just pulling through all three, and I seem to have picked up a little bit extra there. And so I'm going to work over this tail and just once again do my double crochet or single in US terms all the way into the corner. And then when I get to the corner, I will work my corner by doing 3 in the center of those 3 stitches and work my way around. And every time I get to this part here, I'll do that half treble, and it does even out. If you can see, it flattens that out quite nicely, and then in subsequent rounds you won't really even see that. So I'm going to work my way around this now, and I will meet you back at the start, taking care in the corners to do 3 stitches in the middle one and half treble or half double crochet US terms when you get to this part, and I will see you back at the start. Right, so I'm almost back at the start. So I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch, and I didn't go all the way through the stitch, don't like that, didn't go quite in. I'll do that again. I have to push it in, it's a little bit tight, that one. Well, why are you not going in? That's better, hook it in, make it do it. That's it. So now I'm going to do 1 chain, and I'm going to do another round, but this time of half trebles. So that's 3 loops on the hook. So it's half double in US terms, and I'm going to do 3 in the corner, and then I'm going to go all the way around, and when I get to the join it will be exactly the same because I've now evened those joins out. And I like this because it makes the border a little bit more substantial, and I only really did that row to even out those middle parts of the joins. That way I had a larger stitch and a shorter stitch. But I quite this much quicker to go around with this. So that's I'm just going to go all the way around and meet you back here. So I'll pause the video, but it's simple. 3 in the corners and the same stitch all the way around. I'll pop you on hold and I'll meet you back when we get to the start. Okay, so I've made it all the way around, and I'm going to change colours. So I'm going to, instead of slip stitching as normal, I'm going to pull through with my other colour, and I'm going to snip this off for now. And just because I don't want it to unravel, I'm just going to tie a quick knot for now in those so that it keeps it nice. Now, you don't really have to do an alternative colour in this particular border. You can just keep it white if you want. You don't have to use exactly if you've used multicolour yarn like I have, you don't have to use the same yarn to do it. You can pick out a colour. So if you wanted a pink or a green or a blue, you could do that. So you can just play with it and do whatever you want really. But because I've forgotten this yarn, as I say, I'm going to use this turquoise colour, but I've got a feeling it's going to match quite nicely anyway. And I'm going to do another row of, I'm going to go over these tails just so that it keeps it nice and neat looking. I'm going to do another row of those double trebles or half trebles or half doubles in the US terms. I'm getting confused with my terminology now. So yes, 3 in the corner and all the way around. As you can see, those they've really nicely smoothed out. So I'm just going to do another row of half treble or half double all the way around, 3 in the corners, and I will meet you back at the start again. Okay, so I've made it all the way around, got one more stitch to do, and then I'm going to change colour again. So I'm going to bring in my other colour. Doesn't want to come on, that's fine. And again, I'm just going to do a little knot, keep that secure, if it'll let me. Getting tangled up in my own fingers. If I'd been smart, I could have said that I did this intentionally to show you how it would look if you brought out one of the colours from but I wasn't smart, so you know I made a boo-boo. Never mind. So now this round, just do one chain to turn, and I'm going to do a row of double crochet or single crochet in US terms all the way around. And this is because if I bring in my other blanket, the other edge that I made, we've done this row, and I'm going to do a crab stitch along the outer edge. And I tried it just going into this row, and it looked a little sparse. It didn't look too nice. So then I tried it with a little row underneath it of double crochet or single crochet, and it looked much nicer. So that's where we're at now. And so this is all the way around, just doing double crochet, 3 in the corner, and I will meet you when we get back to this point here. So I'll just pause the video and I'll work my way around. Right, I've got all the way around, got one more to do. Oh, didn't go in the right part. It's a bit tight, that one, for some reason. Sorry, I'm wobbling the table. And then I just join it, and with a slip stitch. Now this is the final round, and it's called a crab stitch. For those of you who are not familiar with it, it is a double crochet in UK terms, or a single crochet in US, done backwards. So we go into the stitch before and pull up a loop as normal, so you've got 2 on the hook, yarn over and pull through both. Then you go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, so you've got 2 on the hook. You can't see them, they tend to cross. Yarn over, pull through both and into the next stitch, and you carry on. The trick is not to make them too tight, and if that happens, it might be advisable to use a 5mm crochet hook rather than the 4.5 if you find that you're coming a little bit tight, but you can just loosen your tension. So you're just doing the double crochet in UK terms or single crochet in US, but you're doing it backwards. You're going into the previous stitch, pulling up a loop and go through both of them, and it makes this bumpy edge, which I quite like. I did try it with the like a treble crochet, but I didn't like it. Makes it too lumpy. So we're just going to do that all the way around, and when you get to the corner you can just go over every stitch. No, you don't have to do 3 into the corner, you just go over it because it's only an edge in. And we do that all the way around, and it makes this little bubble, and it will end up looking like this all the way around. But if you want to, go up a size in your crochet hook, and that way it will be nice and even and it won't be tight in any area. So go all the way around. When you get back to here, you just slip stitch and sew in your end, and it's as simple as that. So I'm going to end my tutorial there because you really don't need to see me to see me do that. It's just slip stitch into that stitch and sew in your end so that it doesn't notice. And then you're done. And that is what it will look like all the way around. So we've got the ridges, and then we've got the border. But it's better to have that row there in the white. I didn't really like it so much just doing that into this colour row. It was just not bushy enough, wasn't substantial enough, that's the word. And then you'll get a border like this. Now, of course, you don't have to make this border. If you've got a border that you like, that you're happy with, by all means you can do that. But I like having a row of colour in my border, set it off. And I've got a feeling that I'm going to actually like this one, being this colour. And I did have a little idea of these swatches, just sewing them together and making a cushion cover. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. I'll make my mind up when I get to the end. But hope you've enjoyed this crochet along. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, set that to all. And hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll get notified when there are new videos. I've got a new giveaway going on at the moment, which are for these crochet hooks. And well, they're for 2 sets of crochet hooks and a Christmas project book. I've got other giveaways that are ending very soon. There's still time to enter those. And some mid-month giveaways, which are going to be current until the middle of the month. And there will be more to come. I've got beginners tutorials. I've got the phone sock on there at the moment, and I'm going to be doing the organiser any day now. And so lots and lots coming, and lots of lives as well, live chats. So thanks so much for watching, and all that's left to say is bye-bye for now. Thank you.